Welcome back, friends. Today I want to share with you 15 easy ways to reset your life in 2025. I'm a firm believer that each day offers us the chance for a fresh start, a new beginning. But that said, I do think that there is a kind of magic to the new year that offers us a chance to pause, to reflect, and to dream about the future. It's a time where we can reorient ourselves and catch a vision for what we want the upcoming year to look like. And so today I want to share with you some practical, realistic steps that you can take starting today to reset your life for the new year. Let's get started with one of my favorite things to do. I think I may even make this an annual tradition, and that's to play the 30-day minimalism game. If you've never heard of it before, it's a month-long decluttering challenge where over the course of 30 days, you declutter about 500 items from your life. The way it works is simple. On day 1, you declutter 1 item from your life, day 2, 2 items, day 3, 3 items, and so on. It gets progressively more challenging. So by day 24, you're decluttering 24 items, day 25, 25. You get the picture. If you've been feeling a bit overwhelmed by your home, your surroundings lately, this can be a great challenge to participate in. But then if the minimalism game sounds really fun to you, but maybe a bit too structured, one tweak that I made to it the last time that I played that I'd really recommend was still completing all 30 days of the challenge, but just doing each day in whatever order best suits your schedule. So if on one day you have a lot of time, try decluttering one of those higher numbers. Try hitting 27 or 28 items. But if the next day is a bit busier for you, you don't have a ton of time, maybe just declutter 5 or 6 items. And personally, I found that that little switch up made the challenge a lot easier to complete. I still ended up decluttering the same number of items as I would have if I played it the traditional way. But then something else you can do if you're looking for some instantaneous results is what I like to call the top 3 tidy up. The concept behind this is super simple. Just think through what are the top 3 areas of your home that are the messiest right now. I like to write them down. You can create a little checklist if you want, makes it extra satisfying, and then just spend 30 minutes tidying those spaces up. I find that sometimes when our homes are a mess, it can be a bit overwhelming feeling like you need to do it all at once, or is it even worth doing, or just knowing where to start can be challenging. And so I love just picking those top 3 spaces as something practical that you can do right now that will really make a dent. So whether it's your car, your kitchen, your closet, make that list and then just spend a bit of time knocking it out. Then another thing that I love doing to reset my life for the new year is to plan a life admin day. If you've never done one of these before, essentially all a life admin day is an entire day dedicated to checking off all of the things that kind of end up falling to the end of your to-do list. The things that need to be done, but maybe that you've been putting off, you've been procrastinating with. Think things like scheduling appointments, making returns, negotiating bills. The not fun stuff that if you don't take time to do it really piles up. I love scheduling these a handful of times throughout the year, but typically always like to do one in January. That way I feel like I can fully wrap up the previous year, don't have anything hanging over my head going into the new one, and I can kind of have a fresh start in that area. So write out a to-do list and pick a day where you're going to tackle all of those things that you've been saying that you're going to get to that have maybe fallen to the wayside. Then another way that you can reset your life that's very near and dear to my heart is to get unstuck. Sometimes we all get into slumps, feel burned out. If you're feeling stuck right now, like you're falling behind in life, first off, I want you to not judge yourself. We've all been there and a lot of us are there now. But I want to encourage you to, starting today, take steps to get out of it. There's a lot that you can do. Begin with identifying the root cause, start taking small steps. But if you feel like you've tried that, you're not making progress, or the progress that you're making is slower than you'd like, I want to encourage you to don't be afraid to bring in support. I think it was 2 years ago now, I went through this in a big way. Felt like I was spinning my tires, that I was trying everything that I knew to do and just not getting anywhere. And that's when I turned to therapy for help, for guidance. And guys, it made such a difference. It helped me to connect dots that I never would have otherwise, helped me to dig deeper than I felt like I was able to get to personally. It also gave me new tools, things to try that were specific to my situation, tailored to what I was going through. I can really look to therapy and point to that and say that that was a real turning point for me in my entire burnout journey. I did that through BetterHelp. Like I said, it made such a difference, which is why I'm so excited that they're sponsoring this portion of today's video. What I love about BetterHelp is they really make it approachable. It's 100% online, so it's comfortable, convenient, and especially as someone who, when I started my therapy journey 2 years ago, I'd never entered into a therapist's office before. The idea of it really intimidated me, and so being able to go online was something that I was really excited about. And they make it so easy to get started too. All you have to do is go online, fill out a questionnaire, and they'll match you with a therapist in as little as a couple of days. And with over 30,000 therapists in their network, they really have a diverse range of expertise, experience, and so whatever it is that you're going through right now, they're going to be able to connect you with someone who can help. If the first person you match with doesn't quite feel right for you, you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. So if you're ready to get unstuck, to bring in support, then start any day fresh with BetterHelp. Just click on the link in the description box below or go to betterhelp.com/Ashlynne Eaton to get 10% off your first month of therapy. And guys, cannot recommend BetterHelp enough. Therapy was just such a help to me in a season of my life where I felt like I tried everything on my own and I just didn't know where to turn next. Therapy really gave me the tools that I needed to get my life back on track and in the direction that I wanted to be heading. All right, but then another way that you can reset your life for 2025, something that I'm planning to do personally, is to do a low spend month. A low spend month is just what it sounds like. 30 days where you spend as little as possible. Of course, you still have to spend money on all of the basics, bills, groceries, gas. The idea is to cut back or even eliminate all of the extra purchases that you make throughout the month. The entertainment, the eating out, the shopping. It's a great opportunity to reset your finances, to save money. I think it's especially great if you have maybe a larger expenditure coming up. I think one of the biggest benefits is it also gives you the chance to reset your spending habits. So if you've gotten into the habit of just mindlessly going out to eat, shopping, whatever, it really forces you to kind of cold turkey cut that out of your life, and it helps you to reset your spending. I've done a couple of these in the past. They're hard but really helpful. I think I want to do one of these again in either January or February. So stay tuned, maybe we could do that together, but I really do think that a low spend month can be a great way if your finances have just felt like they're spiraling out of control a bit. It can be a great way to rein things back in and just provide yourself with a fresh start in the new year. Then another idea that I love for 2025 is to volunteer for a cause that you care about. A lot of us have causes that we care about deeply, that we're passionate about, can talk to anyone about for hours. Maybe we even give to organizations that help with those things. But something that I love the idea of doing is in the new year, kind of taking that to the next level and turning that passion into action. Make 2025 a year of giving back. Of course, giving is a great way to take action, but I love the idea of taking this to the next level too, and really volunteering your time, your efforts. I think the really cool thing about volunteering is not only does it give you the opportunity to make a real difference in the world, but it feels good doing it too. But then I want to touch on something very timely that you can do, and that's to reflect and dream. Every year, sometime in December or January, I find that it's really helpful to spend some time reflecting on the previous year and looking ahead to the next. And one really easy way to do this is just to get out a pen, a piece of paper, and to write out your top 3. List out 3 things you're proud of from the previous year, 3 things you're grateful for, 3 challenges you overcame, 3 things you learned. Write your answers out, spend some time in reflection, and then look ahead as well. What are 3 goals you have for 2025? What are 3 habits that you'd like to start or even just improve your consistency at? And then if you want to, I think it can be really cool to just end by thinking about and deciding on a word or a theme that you want to kind of live by in the upcoming year. For me, my word of the year is balance. I'm the kind of person who can tend to go all in or not at all with a lot of things in life, and so this year I want to focus on finding that happy middle ground really across the board. That's my word of the year, and if you do this exercise, I'd love to hear what your word is as well, so definitely comment that below. I feel like the new year really is just such a perfect opportunity for us to engage in some much needed reflection. And something else else that you can try is a digital detox. If lately you've been finding yourself just addicted to your phone, social media, maybe it's TikTok or Instagram, or you're just spending a lot of time watching TV, I think a digital detox can be a great way just to reset some of your media consumption habits. There's a lot of ways that you can do this. I have a handful of friends who take what they like to call a digital Sabbath, and just one day a week they won't engage in screen time. So they'll put away their phones, they won't watch TV, and they'll spend the time hanging out with friends, doing various activities, reading. I think that's a great way to approach it. You can also delete your social media apps for a week, a month, however long you think would be helpful, or if it's just one specific app that you find that you're really addicted to, maybe you just cut out Instagram, cut out TikTok, whatever that looks like for you, or take a break from watching TV for a set period of time. There's a lot of ways that you can tailor this to address kind of the areas that you feel like you're struggling with the most. But if you're feeling just like a compulsive need to always be on your screens, I feel like a digital detox can be such a healthy way to reset your habits, to retrain your brain, and just to develop a healthier relationship with technology. Then just a really simple one that I'm going to be committing to in the new year is to make more homemade meals. There's so many benefits to making meals at home. It can be a lot healthier. You're able to control, to pick out all of the ingredients in the food that you're consuming. It's also a great way to save money. I find that we're able to save on average between 30 to 50% by eating at home versus eating out. But then something my husband and I have started doing too is cooking together, collaborating on meals, and that can be a really cool chance to connect as well. There are a lot of benefits, and if you found yourself eating out a lot lately or just defaulting to takeout more often than not, I really want to encourage you to join me in making more homemade meals this year. Okay, then disclaimer on this next one, I know it's a big one. It's to make a pivot. More often than not, as humans, we tend to default into what we know and what's easy. And that often leaves us in jobs that we aren't happy or fulfilled in, or in relationships that have very much so run their course for far longer than we should. So I want to encourage you, if you're hearing me say this and thinking, wow, that sounds like me, or I resonate with that, maybe you need to shift to a new position in your current company. Maybe it's time to find a new job, start or end a relationship, or maybe even just change things up in your current relationship to shift the dynamic a bit and to give it a sense of freshness and newness. I think sometimes it's easy to linger in something that you don't love, or that maybe is okay, but that has potential to be so much more. There are options out there. There are things that you can do. So if you've been kind of wallowing in complacency a bit, maybe now's the time to take action, to make a pivot, and to change things in your life for the better. I can't tell you what those changes are that you need to make, but I have a feeling you may know yourself. So here's just my little encouragement, motivation for you. Make this year the year that you make that change. Okay, I know that one's big, it's scary, but I know that you can do it. Let's take the pressure off of it. Talk about an easy one, and that's to do a top 3 cleanup. And guys, this is the exact same thing that we talked about earlier with tidying, but this time we're cleaning, specifically deep cleaning. I find that especially since having a baby, deep cleaning is one of those things that I've really struggled to be consistent at, and there are several areas of my home at the moment that could really benefit from some TLC. If you're there too right now, baby or not, take a few minutes, write out the top 3 things that come to mind that really need a good solid cleaning in your home. Maybe it's your stove, your shower, your fridge, whatever. Write those things out and then spend some time tackling them. And then something that requires a bit more planning, but that can be so helpful, is to go on a solo retreat. I went on one of these last year right when I first found out I was pregnant, and it was just such a beautiful space for me to be able to dream and to envision and make practical plans for what my life was going to look like going forward. If you're an expecting mom, would highly recommend. But really, I think there are so many times and situations where something like this would be helpful. The way I did it was to spend 2 nights just in the middle of nowhere. I actually stayed at, I think they renamed themselves, but it used to be called getaway cabins. They've got them across the United States. I stayed there for 2 nights and just spent time in nature, journaling, in life-giving activities. Really though, you can make this look however you want. I think the big things that you want to incorporate though are just time alone to reflect and to rest. Then you can just take it from there, customize your time however you see fit. All right, then we have just a few left here. Something else you can do in the upcoming year is to take control of your finances. If money is something that you ignore or try not to think about, or maybe even dabble with, but you really feel like you could be better at, why not make 2025 the year where you really take control of your finances? I think a great place to start is doing a financial audit, really getting a clear picture of your entire financial situation, your bank account, your savings, your debt, all of it. Also meet with your financial planner, or if you don't have one yet, maybe it's time to hire a financial planner, and then take action. I always find it helpful to set some financial goals, whether that's around getting out of debt, saving money, investing for the future. I think that often we try to ignore the topic of money and finances because it feels stressful to us, but really what I've found to be true is that it's actually more stressful not to think about money, how you're doing financially, than it is to really get control of the situation, to take action, and to make tangible progress towards your goals. And just a quick thing that you can do in 2025 is to read more. There's nothing quite like the power of reading to really challenge us with new ideas, to expand our way of thinking, or on the fiction side, to transport us to new worlds and to kind of enter into the minds of others, to experience things deeply. So if that's something you're wanting to do, I'd recommend setting a goal, whether it's a chapter a day, maybe it's a book a month. Reading is a great habit to get into, but it's also one that it's easy to fall out of. So if you found that you're reading less lately, why not set a goal for yourself of reading more in the new year? All right, then I want to wrap up with one that I don't hear people talking about a lot, but something that I really think that can make a huge difference, and that's to take a sabbatical. If lately you've been feeling just completely drained or burned out, this is something that I'd really recommend. Take a week, a couple of weeks, even a month if you're able, a prolonged amount of time to rest and to reset your life. Reconnect with the world outside of your 9 to 5. During that time, don't travel, don't fill your schedule, and instead really try to focus on slowing down. I think that sometimes we expect to be able to go on a vacation and to come back feeling rested, energized, and ready to re-enter life, when what we really need is not necessarily to travel, although you know how much I love travel as well, but instead to, in our regular environment, just focus on reconnecting with life outside work, outside of obligations, just to focus on the things that we're passionate about and enjoy. I really think that whether your sabbatical is a week or a month, or hey, maybe even longer than that, if you're coming out of a season where you just feel worn out, it can be a really helpful way just to give yourself a new beginning. Well, that's our list. Those are 15 practical, tangible ways that you can reset your life for 2025 starting today. But now I'd love to hear from you. What are some of the things that you're wanting to do in the new year to reset, to refresh your life? I'd love to hear from you. So be sure to let me know what you're planning to do in the comments below. Before I go, I did just quickly want to remind you to check out BetterHelp if you haven't already. Like I was saying, they really have made such a difference for me. So if you're considering starting therapy, highly recommend checking them out. You can go to betterhelp.com/Ashlynne Eaton or click the link in the description box below. That will get you 10% off your first month. But as always, thank you so much for watching, for being here. Know that I am cheering you on with all of your goals, and I will see you all again very soon. Bye, friends.